Hello, everyone. So, yesterday we finished chapter 6, and in chapter 6, we found out the first two winners of the golden tickets, and they were Veruca Salt and Augustus Gloop. Today it's Charlie's birthday, and he's very excited to open his Willy Wonka bar because he also thinks he might have a chance of winning the third golden ticket. So, we're going to start off on chapter 7 now. Happy birthday! Cried the four old grandparents as Charlie came into the room early the next morning. Charlie smiled nervously and sat down on the edge of the bed. He was holding his present, his only present, very carefully in his two hands. Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight, it said on the wrapper. The four old people, two at either end of the bed, propped themselves up on their pillows and stared with anxious eyes at the candy bar in Charlie's hand. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket came in and stood at the foot of the bed watching Charlie. The room became silent. Everybody was waiting now for Charlie to start opening his present. Charlie looked down at the candy bar. He ran his fingers slowly back and forth along the length of it, stroking it lovingly, and the shiny wrapping paper made a little sharp crackly noise in the quiet room. Then Mrs. Bucket said gently, "You mustn't be too disappointed, my darling, if you don't find what you're looking for underneath that wrapper. You really can't expect to be as lucky as all of that." "She's quite right," Mr. Bucket said. Charlie didn't say anything. "After all," Grandma Josephine said, "in the whole wide world, there are only 3 tickets left to be found." "The thing to remember," Grandma Georgina said, "is that whatever happens, you'll still have the bar of candy." "Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight," cried Grandpa George. "It's the best of all of them. You'll just love it." "Yes," Charlie whispered. "I know. Just forget all about those golden tickets and enjoy the candy," Grandpa Joe said. "Why don't you do that?" They all knew it was ridiculous to expect this one poor little candy bar to have a magic ticket inside it, and they were trying as gently and as kindly as they could to prepare Charlie for the disappointment. But there was one other thing that the grown-ups also knew, and it was this, that however small the chance might be of striking lucky, the chance was there. The chance had to be there. This particular candy bar had as much chance as many other of having a golden ticket. And that was why all the grandparents and parents in the room were actually just as tense and excited as Charlie. Although they were pretending to be very calm, "You'd better go ahead and open it or you'll be late for school," Grandpa Joe said. "You might as well get it over with," Grandpa George said. "Open it, my dear," Grandma Georgina said. "Please open it. You're making me jumpy." Very slowly, Charlie's fingers began to tear open one small corner of the wrapping paper. The old people in the bed all leaned forward, craning their scraggy necks. Then suddenly, as though he couldn't bear the suspense any longer, Charlie tore the wrapper right down the middle, and on his lap there fell a light brown, creamy-coloured candy bar. There was no sign of a golden ticket anywhere. "Well, that's that," said Grandpa Joe brightly. It's just what we expected." Charlie looked up. 4 kind old faces were watching him intently from the bed. He smiled at them, a small sad smile, and then he shrugged his shoulders, picked up the candy bar and held it out to his mother and said, "Here, Mother, have a bite. We'll share it. I want everybody to taste it." "Certainly not," his mother said, and the others all cried, "No, no, no. We wouldn't dream of it. It's all yours." "Please," begged Charlie, turning around and offering it to Grandpa Joe, but neither he nor anyone else would take even a tiny bite. "It's time to go to school, my darling," Mrs. Bucket said, putting an arm around Charlie's skinny shoulders. "Come, or you'll be late." And there we are now at the end of chapter 7. Unfortunately, Charlie has not been able to get one of the golden tickets. We still know there are 3 out there, but Charlie's birthday present is one candy bar that he gets every year, has not come up with a golden ticket. And it's great to see how supportive his family were. They were all so nice. Even though they really, really wanted it for Charlie, they knew that it was always most likely that he wasn't going to win. So they're really supportive, even though he didn't get what he wanted. So now we're just going to have to find out in tomorrow's chapter 8, what is next for Charlie. Will he still get a chance of going to Willy Wonka's factory? Who knows? So thanks again for listening today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.